Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing well and your studies are going in full swing. So just a few hours away from your CA final or CA intermediate exams, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of nervous excitement building up within you at this time. So I'll not take more of your time and we'll just get to the point quickly. We want to discuss a few very important things before your exams. So the things we are going to cover here are what should be your sequence of solving a particular paper. When should you solve the MCQs? When should the bigger questions come? How should you utilize the reading time? And in terms of paper solving presentation, how should you ensure that you try to complete the entire 100 marks of the paper and avoid doing the thing which is going to take away most of your marks in your exam across all 6 papers. So we'll discuss these quickly. First, in terms of sequence, again, there is no clear rule, but I would say if I were solving the paper, I would prefer that I would first solve the first 2 questions, which are the most comfortable ones for me. So if I read the paper and I find 1 or 2 questions which I know that I've done multiple times, they're easy, I would try to get myself into momentum. I want to get into form. I want to get into that composure of writing the paper properly, and that will put me in a state of confidence. So definitely I would try to solve at least 1, if not 2 questions fully, which I'm very comfortable with. Secondly, I will probably in the middle of my paper do the MCQs and try to wrap them up within 30 to 35 minutes on an average, so that I kind of leave a little more time for the other things. And I will try to do the consolidation questions or amalgamation question somewhere immediately after the MCQs, because if I keep it right for the end, what does happen is you are unable to sometimes complete the paper, and as a result, if you don't reach logical steps in a stepwise marking, well, stepwise marking is if you calculate a goodwill, if you calculate a non-controlling interest, if you're calculating these numbers, if you're just doing workings and someone comes and snatches your paper away because the bell has rung, you're not going to get anything for the last 15 minutes that you put in. So I might as well do the bigger question immediately after MCQs and then continue further, do the question which I'm the least comfortable at the end. So if I'm unable to complete my paper, at least that is the thing that I lose out rather than losing out something that I know. So that is what should be the sequence of solving ideally. Secondly, in the 15 minutes that you have, you should not read question number 1 at all, because that is something that you have to attempt. Within the other questions, you should go searching largely to answer 2 questions. Which is the question that I should start with, and which is the question which I would want to keep for the end, which I'm least comfortable with. If you can attain that objective in the first 15 minutes, you are at a good shape. Third, how do I ensure that I've studied so much, but I don't know whether I'll be able to put everything up in those 3 hours, 3 months and maybe 3 years of preparation put into 3 hours. And that is very challenging. You have so much to offer, but just 3 hours to write it. But that is the thing where you have to focus on. You're playing T20 cricket right now, and hence you have to time yourself really well. So over here, the general thumb rule is you have 100 marks and approximately 180 minutes, which out of which I can say you leave around 30 minutes for MCQs. At the upper end, another 10 minutes with a buffer, which leaves you 140 minutes for 70 marks. So I have 30 marks with 30 MCQs. Maybe I have a 10-minute buffer here. So that brings me down to 180 to 150, 150 to 140, and then 2 minutes per mark. So if it's a 10-mark question, I'll have 20 minutes. If it's a 5-mark question, maybe 10 minutes. But the moment I'm going over that, trust me, it is eating up into some of your other things. You might want to present in the best way, but remember, this is not a beauty contest. You're not going to be judged on your presentation. You are more going to be judged on what you are going to write. So if you have the temptation of taking a pencil, making 2 boxes, double underlining, I'm saying keep that away. Those are your 12th and 10th. At this point, get your numbers right, and that is all that matters. So at least in the first paper, students in general are very finicky. You're quite nervous. You want to ensure that you present in the best way. I'm telling you, chuck all of that from the very first minute. Let your pen go really fast, and if the need be, later if you want to use short forms, you can even do that, but ensure that you try to play all your 50 or 20 overs as a case maybe, rather than focusing on playing a few overs really well and then leaving the other stuff. Okay, so ensure that you kind of try to time yourself from the very beginning. Whether you're a fast writer, slow writer, does not really matter. Financial reporting is the paper where people don't complete. To be honest, I'm giving you some advice, but when I wrote the paper, I could not complete 20 marks of my paper. And I mean, it is heartbreaking to leave the paper, and hence at least try to target to complete the paper really well. And the fourth and the most important thing I would say, across all the 6 papers, which is going to eat up most of your marks, 100%. For any student, what eats up most of the marks is not the lack of knowledge, but the silly mistakes. When you are going to solve, your mind is going to wander. You might have read a question which you're not very sure. You might have solved something earlier, which now you're questioning. You are having that self-doubt. I'm telling you, this is the thing which is going to take most of your marks. When you're calculating something, you put that extra zero, or you forget writing a zero when you're writing it. These might sound really small things. You will rack your brains out of this, that how did I make this mistake? Again, you will not be able to avoid all of them. You are still a human, but we want to minimize it. And how do I minimize it? Well, when I'm writing a particular sum, when I'm doing a particular sum, all my energy and emphasis has to be in that problem only. What I see on the calculator, what I have to write down, what I'm noting, I don't have to wander. Trust me, going back on what I've written in the earlier problem, or what will I do in the next problem, because that is where the silly mistake happens. That is where you lose that momentary focus and you forget writing a zero, you forget putting that decimal point, and then everything goes for a toss. So ensure that you kind of avoid those silly mistakes to the best extent possible. And how do you do that? You be present in the moment. You be present on the mark that you're writing, the sum that you're writing, and you're not diverting away to the other things. So this is something which is very important. Now, this is for the top 3-4 things that you should remember. But now your preparation, your understanding, your studies that you had to do is all done. Now the game is all in the mind as well. Now no one knows, your examiner does not know whether you have done 3 revisions, 4 revisions, or even 1 revision. So you don't go with that prejudice that, oh, I have just done only 1 revision, 2 revisions, how will I manage? Your examiner does not know that. As long as you're writing the stuff properly, you're going to get your due marks. And getting that mental composure is very important. It's easier said than done. Even I'm nervous while I'm writing the paper. Even you will be nervous. But before that, getting adequate amount of sleep. I'm not saying you go and sleep for 8 hours. No, you're not even going to get that kind of sleep. But ensure that at least 6 hours you get that sleep, because when you want to fire the most, all your guns should be blazing, and a good night's sleep does much better than probably studying 5 more questions which might not even land up in your exam. A guaranteed fresh mind is going to give you more than anything else. Further, be a little more confident about yourself. I know as CA students, you will be very conservative. We tell you to do conservatism, but at this point, you back yourself a little more. Don't be too harsh on yourself. Don't kind of tell yourself that this is what I could have done. No, you have done the best. I know you have put in so many hours, you have put in so many days, weeks, sacrificed so much, you have put in so much on the line. And trust me, the exam is such that it will never get enough. No matter how much you have studied, everyone who is probably listening to this video is not, or maybe over the last decades, who has gone into the exam hall before the first paper, they have not gone with that thing that, oh, I'm going to go there and I'm going to get that full score or the best marks. No, everyone over here is a little kind of jittery. You will feel that you are jittery. Well, everyone around you is also. That does not solve your problem, but I'm telling you, it is absolutely normal. What you have to ensure is, well, you have to back yourself a little more. You have to speak a little more positively about yourself. And if possible, try to avoid giving yourself markings after your paper is going to go through, because you're not going to check stuff which you're confident about. You're going to check stuff which you had 2 opinions, 2 minds, and probability is 50% you are going to be wrong about it. And invariably, whenever we end up checking after the exam, we end up seeing that most of our things that we thought were correct were actually wrong. And that kind of gets you into a spiral that 1.5 crucial days that you have, you're going to lose that very crucial thing. So even after your exams are over, just try to do limited post-mortem if possible. I mean, we will also give you a broad overview. I'm not going to give you, a lot of students every time ask me that about a suggested answer on MCQ. I'm not going to give that right now. After the exams if required, after all the 6 papers, we can discuss that. But in any case, you will have those MCQs answers from this or the other source, and that's absolutely fine. It is on you whether you want to check it or not. You should move on to the next paper, that is AFM, move on into audit with that frame of mind that you gave your best. Now, there would be things where you go wrong, but keeping that right frame of mind is going to take you at a lot of places. And there is so much that you have put in. And if you have that unrealistic expectation with you that, well, you're going to do the best, you're going to get 100 marks. No, that is not going to happen. you're probably going to lose out some marks, but that is normal loss that you call it in costing. Let some buffer there with you, be with you. That is absolutely fine. However, please try to ensure that you kind of use whatever time that you have to the best possible ways and give your exam in the best possible manner. Okay. So with that, I'll wish you all the very best. All the blessings, good luck, and all our prayers are with you. You will go there, you will perform really well, you will give your best shot. It may not be the perfect shot, but giving your best shot with all the efforts that you have and without any bias, go and make yourself, your family, your friends, and your professors proud. We are proud of the efforts that you have put in and the way you're going and writing in the exam. The results, let the examiners decide. You don't go and do all of that right now. Okay. So that should be it for right now. Good luck, goodbye, and take care.